Alright, so today we're going to focus on finding tops and bottoms with moving averages. If you want a written tutorial, you can find it on my Medium page. I'll put a link in the description. It's also going to have any code snippets for you to copy and the final code, which can come in really useful. Anyways, this is admittedly pretty simple, but it's also pretty useful, especially if you're just starting out and you want something to help confirm with another strategy. Is this where I should enter or exit? To start off, we're going to make a new indicator script, and we can just name it MA, T, and B. Next, we're going to add an input. Well, we're going to make a variable called base, make it an input. We're going to give it a default value of one of the more common slow moving averages, 200. Can name it base. Okay. So after that, what we're going to do is we're going to turn this base variable into a moving average, and we can do that by making a new variable. We're just going to call it base MA equals SMA. We're going to use the source no, my bad. We're going to use the source close with the length base, so 200, and the source of this moving average is going to be the closing price, and it's going to be counting back 200 bars to make that average. Now we just need one more variable. We're going to call it hist, and it's going to equal close minus base MA, the moving average we just created. So now this hist variable equals the difference between close and our moving average. Next, we are going to plot this hist variable. We're going to plot that as a histogram, and we do that by typing plot hist style equals histogram. Color can be orange. If I can spell it right. There we go. Awesome. So now we have that. We're going to add it to the chart. Let me just get rid of that one real quick. We're going to add this one to the chart. Awesome. So if you notice, what it's doing is actually, let's give another moving average. Let's just add this moving average. We're going to set this moving average to 200. So what it's doing is this histogram is plotting the difference between the price and this moving average. So you could say, well, what's the point? Why can't you just eyeball the difference between the moving average and the price yourself? Why do you need an indicator? And honestly, there is no difference, but what you can do with this is now you can add a moving average onto this. So, for example, now you have this line going through here, and it actually starts painting a much better, much clearer picture, which you couldn't really do just by looking at it. And actually, I prefer, well, for this specific one, I prefer the whole moving average. You can, it's a built-in script. You just add it to this histogram, and now you can see when you go through, you can see, well, actually this is a terrible example because actually, my bad, guys. I don't know why I said 200. It should be 60 because I'm using the 2-hour time frame, and 200 works a lot better with daily candles, but I wouldn't say it works great with the lower time frames. But I mean, really everything's just about like seeing what works and what doesn't. So now if we look at this is the XRP chart, which is kind of a bit biased right now because of that giant rally or pump, whatever you want to call it. But so now you can see goes down. Let's get rid of that. Goes down, you could think that it's going to start coming up right here, but this one, it doesn't make this nice little U shape. And for me, I like to look for kind of like these U shapes because those are usually the best, but but don't quote me on that. And it is much easier to see these in hindsight, so I wouldn't I wouldn't focus too much on this. Again, like I said in the beginning, this is way better for confirming entries and exits with an already existing strategy. Like right here, you're getting a nice kind of U shape, but it kind of fakes you out. So it's really hard to actually tell. And then by the time the U forms, it's almost too late. So it's really hard, but it's pretty useful at the same time, because if you can use this in confluence with another indicator or a strategy, that's where I've found the best application for this particular indicator. But to sum it up, moving averages can be really, really powerful. I mean, there are entire firms and entire books just created that focus on almost nothing but moving averages. It's reversion to the mean is kind of like this, like the theory that price will always return to the average. But I think that's where I'll leave off for today. If you have any questions or anything, the best way to get a hold of me is through Twitter, direct message, YouTube. It really is not great with notifications. If you use Twitter, I'll get it almost instantly. You can also follow me on Twitter. I post some trades and other information you guys might find interesting. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.